Welcome to EdScoop TV. I'm Wyatt Kash, and we're here at the SETDA Leadership Summit. And joining us today is Jared Mader. Jared is the Director for Education Technology, representing the Pennsylvania Association of Intermediate Units. Welcome to the program.
Thank you.
Tell me just briefly what your organization does.
We are a part of the 29 intermediate unit system in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. The intermediate units are a part of school code in Pennsylvania, and we serve a variety of school districts in the Commonwealth. My particular intermediate unit serves 25 school districts, 2 career and technology centers, and over 100 non-public schools. Over 100,000 students, about 10,000 teachers are a part of that region.
Sounds like a lot of people to be answering to.
It really is.
Well, I know you're working on a variety of initiatives in the EdTech space. Tell me about one of the things that you're most excited about in your area.
Well, I think the marriage of pedagogy and content for teachers that perhaps have not been a part of a formal instructional practice in their pre-service teaching years in terms of how to well use online instruction, use differentiated practices in their classroom to personalize learning for students. So one of the things that we are working on in our state is helping teachers and helping curriculum coordinators make a connection between open educational resources. There are one-to-one programs which many of our districts, in our footprint, almost every school district of the 25 has some degree of implementation of one-to-one. So we're trying to help them marry that curriculum, the content, the pedagogy, and then access to resources that are vetted and that are representative of the standards that we want to hold of our classrooms.
Great. Tell me a little bit more about what kind of impact that's having on both the schools, the teachers, and the students.
Well, we want to try to make it manageable because right now there's so many different mandates and requirements that are placed upon teachers, from data quality and performance monitoring and metrics that they're supposed to be looking at for and should be looking at to improve practice, to individualize learning outcomes for students based upon their needs. So for us, we're seeing our role at the service agencies as being able to connect them through an OER Commons community that we've created across Pennsylvania, that we work to be able to train our trainers in each of our intermediate units, who then respectively go back to their intermediate units and run a 4-day workshop spread out over about 10-month period, helping curriculum coordinators, teachers, and district administrators to be able to build their own OER communities for their own districts, which then feed up through the channel to their intermediate unit commons, which then feeds to the PAIU commons. So we have this aggregate of collective resources that have all been vetted and have been connected to PA core standards.
Sounds like a great system for maximizing the opportunities for EdTech.
It really is a grassroots effort. It's not a top-down where we have to submit resources to the state level or to the intermediate unit level to be approved, that many times may be lost in just the sheer volume of evaluation. Instead, it starts at the district level where teachers, who are the best evaluators of the content that they're utilizing in the classroom, can begin that process.
Tell me, as we look ahead to next year, what are some of your top priorities? So
every year we use the Horizon Report, and 2017 K-12 edition has just come out recently, and we use that as a foundation for what our discussion with technology directors in our districts. We have 500. We have local control state, so we have 500 school districts and almost equally as many technology directors or coordinators. And so we are right now making that connection with. It's a timely event because, along with that Horizon Report, the ISTE educator standards have just come out over the last summer. So we are looking at those educator standards and the upcoming refresh of the administrator standards to really transform how leading a school district or leading the change that needs to happen to be able to achieve the learner, which were from 2016 standards, can be addressed in each classroom. Really looking at that computational thinking. The CS for All is a big push, and STEM ecosystems are really becoming a focus in a lot of the Commonwealth. We have 4 or 5 STEM ecosystems identified right now that we are working going to grow across the Commonwealth.
And lastly, thinking more broadly about the EdTech landscape, what do you see on the horizon, maybe from the Horizon report, that you find particularly interesting or that you think will have a significant impact going ahead over the next year or two?
Well, I've been in the field for 20 years, and we've always been using the phrase differentiating instruction, right? And I started out my career as a chemistry teacher, and with 120 students, differentiated instruction 20 years ago looked like, okay, some group work, we'll split up into maybe thirds, maybe half the class that needs some support. Today, with the wealth of resources, qualitative, quantitative, formative assessment resources, data and the ability to interpret and evaluate data is going to continue to be really the mainstay, I think, of what teachers' preparation is going to be looking like. It's why it's important with the OER work, marrying that with content so that teachers are able to quickly align to what the students need. And so the automation of that and the ability to put that into the hands of teachers where they don't have to be the analytic or statistical experts, but rather the software or whatever the performance progress monitoring tools that districts employ are going to be instrumental in helping teachers be able to identify where the gaps are for students in their learning outcomes.
Well, Jared Mader, thank you so much for stopping by, sharing some of the things that you're working on. Wish you a lot of good luck with that in the coming year.
Thank you.
I'm Wyatt Kash with EdScoop TV. Look for more of our coverage on edscoop.com. Thanks for watching.